You're welcome to another episode of Back to Base on Africa Tech Radio, the Founders Podcast, where we take a deep dive into, founders, how they work, how they think, what makes them tick. We also want to go back in time, back to base to know how they started, just everything about them, okay? My name is Lilian, and of course, I said this is Africa Tech Radio. Here with me today is Adeleye Odebunmi.
Thank you for having me. My name is Adeleye Odebunmi.
All right. He is the founder and CEO of Rubicon and Pakam Technologies. Not just one, but two. Well, two or more companies. So let's just start from the very, very beginning, right? What is the relationship between your childhood and what you're doing right now?
I really don't keep memories of childhood.
Really? Why?
I don't know. So, but I know I grew up. I know I went to school. And I grew up from a large family, from Owijebu, a kinship family. Yeah, my granddad then was the Oba of Owu, like the king of Owu. So
your granddad was the king of Owu.
yes, I went to different six secondary schools. And
wait, you're going too fast. Why? How come you went to six secondary schools?
yeah, from JSS1 to
So every class a different school.
yes.
Why did that happen?
It was a combination of many factors, and one of it was the fact that my parents were not together. So you go here, you move here, you move here, you move here. So it was always very important of those things my mom used to tell me. The only passport I can give to you is education. When you have that education, there's no other thing that you can't achieve. I held that in my left hand, and in the university I read sociology, and that also really, really, really impacted me a lot in forming who I am today. My understanding of challenges, my understanding of social problems, and the way I should tackle them, and also my thought process, the way I think revolves around that background in sociology that I learned a lot. Yeah.
So you grew up in the palace. How do you see the Nollywood depiction of palaces in movies? Is it accurate?
Somewhat accurate. It's palaces are not like the Queen of England palace.
So what do you see that whenever you see a Nollywood movie portraying a palace, what do you always say, no, this is wrong?
So there are two ways you can look at it. So at that traditional setting, there are two palaces. The king residence may be a palace, and there can also be a palace for the community, for the town, and all that. So it's a community palace. It's not your own property and all of that. So, but if it's your residence, of course, it could be a palatial mansion and all that, but it is resident, but it has all those whatsoever you see in a normal palace. Are you getting it? But if it's a community one, it becomes bigger. It has halls and all of those things then.
All right. Something stood out from what you said about how you don't remember much of your childhood. That is really strange to me. So if I say, can you share a fond memory from your childhood, do you really remember anything to share?
Not that I don't remember anything, but there was nothing kind of too fun in my childhood. It was two things. So some people will say, these people, they are what some people call get inside, kind of. But in between two, it was also kind of rough. So it's a mixture of both sweet and good, but nothing so spectacular that I can really remember that, these are things that happen, yeah.
Aww. Okay. I went through your bio and you have experience in agriculture, public and consulting and technology. Like your background is diverse, like different. You have skills here, skills here, skills here, skills here. Tell me about that.
Okay, like I said, what I studied in school influenced me a lot, like a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So while we're in school, the student of sociology, then we used to ask ourselves, where are you going to work when you come out? Where are you going to work when you come out? And I will ask myself, okay, as a sociology, what will I do? So at times I will even make my lecturer, what do you think the job that, a lawyer knows I'm going to do law, an accountant knows I'm going to do law. So as a sociology, I say, at worst case scenario, you go and be a police. So, but I knew in my heart that no, I don't want to go to do that. I don't want to do that. Even though my dad was in the military, I like no, that's not what I want to do. So, but I came out and I found myself working in a security company, Halogen,
Okay.
and then we're in GRA here too. We're there. I started working with them, and I worked with them from 2008 till 2014 when I decided to leave.
Okay, after that.
So after that, I left, and I was asking myself, what do I want to do? There was a day I was at the office, and the chairman of the office of the company, Mr. Shobanjo, sent an email, and in that email, he was talking about, I think he was trying to motivate us, and he was talking about his experience, and he said he used to work in a media outlet in Surulere then, and for those 1 year, he put all his life to work, all his entire life to work, and that after 1 year, he felt, oh, he can, divert this energy to himself too, and then he felt if he could do that, that the same energy that he put in making his own boss company work, people
Well,
also
which
do
is-
that for him too. So I just looked and I tapped into it. I said, wow, Leia, if you don't start your own too, one day, no matter how good you've been to this company, somebody will come and say, thank you for your good service. Service no longer required. So I felt there was need for me to start something. So I just, the old zeal to work just died immediately. So when I tendered, and of course I had accumulated leave, three years leave. So I just took everything at once, and so while it was approved, I tendered resignation, and my MD called me and said, "No, we're not going to approve it." He had good conversation at his residence, and I said, "No matter how much you're giving me, the power, the zeal to work is no longer there." He said, why? I said, I just feel I don't want to serve people anymore. There's a way I want to do now. And I thank God I didn't change my mind. So I left, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I'll first take 1 month to sleep and think, and now ask myself, what do I really want to do? And of course, I felt if there's nothing I want to do, I'll probably go to Ijebu and be farming, or just do something like I know I won't die. Fortunately, in between that month, I then met the former governor, Ambode, and was doing his electioneering campaign, and I started to consult for him, and I became his security consultant all through till I became a governor. Then I left to start a company called Rick Hunters, which was a consulting firm for public safety. And as at then, we started to also do some work for Lagos State then, which was part of the Safe City project and Smart City project also. And I wrote the project framework also. At the time, I also left the country. Then when things went sour, then I came back, then started a farm. So
Wait, 1 second. When things went sour, what was that? What happened?
yeah, so things didn't go the way, relationship between myself and the governor then didn't go the way we planned.
Oh.
And, so I traveled, and over time I came back, and
So tell me about your first venture into entrepreneurship.
so my first was actually consulting, was Rick Santos then, specifically for public safety. Or security kind of. Yeah. So I was very good in risk assessment. So when I left Ambody campaign, that was what I was using to stay alive.
Body and soul together.
Yeah. So it was in that process that I felt I cannot depend on consulting for life. I cannot have a big work today and I will wait the next 6 months to have another. That is not what I want to do. So I needed to get something done that can be bringing constant, and that can also impact everybody around. So one of those projects that we designed then, which was like the Safe City, Smart City solution. So I started to break it down. I was then looking at it like, okay, how do I achieve this? What can I use to achieve this and all that? So, and I started massive research. So, and I did that all across board, and I came up with Pakam. I came up with a report now, and I came up with another solution called somewhere.
What does Pakam do?
Pakam is actually a software for waste management. We try to look at the entire challenge that we face within the waste ecosystem and the environmental ecosystem also. And one of those things where the fact that waste is always around us is fast consuming us. And we also look at the area of the circularity. That chunk of what we also generate as waste actually also big resources. And we also look at the area of infractions, that no matter how you fix waste and you also fix the circularity within that system, there's also a challenge of some people would not just want to do the right thing. They still want to burn their waste. They still want to bury their waste. They still want to dump waste, indiscriminately and all that. So then the smart enforcement came in. So it's just to cover the entire loop so that you're not solving one and you're abandoning one.
Did something happen that made you found Pakam Technologies, or you just said, okay, this is a waste, I can be the company that will tackle this?
So, two things happened. I stay here in Ikeja and I have another house in Nigeria, but I rarely go there. So, and my security was telling me, oh, TSP brought bill. And I was like, we're staying here. I don't have dogs in the compound.
Mm-hmm.
My security don't cook. It does not generate any waste. The whole house is locked up. So why are they bringing bills? So it was then I was like, no, we can't be having this. And if probably don't pay you, start to chase them around. And so I said, no. So if I'm not in the country for 1 year, for 2 years, for 6 months, I should be able to pay for what I'm generating. And when I'm not there, I should not pay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was when the idea of we need to create a system that encourages pay as you waste. So that was the whole hallmark of Pakam itself. Like, I generate this waste, I schedule for it to be picked up, I make payment, and life is good. So for us to do that, you need to bring the critical stakeholders together. And one of them is the regulatory body, which is LOMA. So I had approached them, the MD of LOMA then, Adeleye Odebunmi, and it was like, I'm interested in this, your pay as you waste, but can you look at one thing for me? Can you look at hen as you waste, where people will sort their waste, schedule for it to be picked up, and they'll make money from doing that. So we went back to the drawing table, we started to plan, call stakeholders, a lot of discussions, and we created Pakam Hen as you waste. So we have Pakam Hen as you waste, we have Pakam Pay as you waste, and we have Pakam Smart Enforcement. So, but the current one that we've deployed to the market now is the Hen as you waste, which means you sort your waste, all the recyclable waste, you schedule it for pickup, like Uber, they come, they wait, they put it in the cage on their own app, and you see the money in your own wallet. And you can transfer the one from your wallet into your bank account straight.
So I can make money by disposing my waste, especially the recyclable ones.
Yes,
And that will reduce the amount of waste we see on the roadside, in gutters and all that. If you can, if word can be spread to even those on the street, tell them. In fact, people, a friend of mine is in Germany, and she did a vlog on how she went to make money, 50 euros. She took, some recyclables, put it in a machine, and it just gave her money. I said, if I was in this place, I'll make it my life's work to gather waste.
So, Yoruba used to say something. Yoruba would say, Inugbelowowa. Literally what it means is in debt that you find so much money. And I tell you, we've seen that. So even when we started and we were like, these people are mad, they won't last 1 month, they won't last 2 months. But what we're seeing at the back of the tunnel was so huge, and we're saying, don't worry. So that becomes our propelling force too, to say like, we might just get to this promised land. Waste is actually very, very rich. If you go to New York yourself, you're just even talking about your friend in Germany. I know an individual in New York that makes up to $4,000 to $5,000 every month from just picking waste. Recyclable waste, can, bottles, and all of those things.
New career opportunity. But some people will say, I can't go around, it's dirty. I can't sell. You're not ready to make money. That's all I'll say. So starting a company, it's not rosy, right? So what are the challenges that you faced while running your business?
We are in a very tough environment. The environment itself is very toxic that it does not even want any business to be in it.
When you say environment, what do you mean?
So the environment is huge. The environment we have, you're in that space called the environment, and it includes the government, it includes the people, it includes everything, it includes the policy, it includes the regulations and all of those things. So they are inimical to businesses. You understand? So, but again, one thing I've also learned is this, and it's one of those things that have taken us to where we are today. I don't believe in luck. So if the whole world, if everybody are like, I'm lucky, I got this, I won't even try it because it will never come.
So what do you believe in?
So
Wait, you don't believe in luck, or you don't believe that you can be lucky? No, they're two different things.
The two applies to me. I don't believe in it, and I don't believe I can be lucky. So now, yeah, it is. So self-awareness is key. So I've seen people that they can play Baba Jebu and hit it. Wow, you're like, I made this money, I made this million. If I use the entire money in the world to play Baba Jebu, I can never win. You understand? So,
have you tried?
No, I know.
A child with COVID.
So for me, it's always about hard work and smart work. So I don't believe that when things are easy for everybody to say, I just got it on a platter of gold. I've never gotten anything on a platter of gold except I earn it. So in my own book, List of Success, luck is just 1%. Teamwork is like 29%. Persistence is 70%. So what has taken us to this very where we are now is persistence. When the roads are blocked, I don't see block road. I see opportunity. We push again. When the roads are blocked, so for every mountains we see, we either climb it or we go around it.
You don't believe in luck?
No, I don't believe in luck.
Okay. Because there's some people who would, you said you don't engage in that conversation, though.
I've seen people that are like, I'm so lucky, I got this.
I've met people who are, like, they get things on platter of gold.
Yeah,
so I might not be lucky, but I can see luck where
so
luck
me,
is.
like I said, it has never occurred to me that I got something on the platter of gold. I will always work to earn what I get. So
but there might be luck out there, right?
I don't know.
Well, nice. Okay, so where do you see the future of waste management? We grew up in a time where we only burnt waste in front of your house or the backyard. We burn it and bury it to the point where there's no other space to bury again. And to the point where on Saturdays they'll come and ring a bell. Everybody will take their waste. Come. And now your company has a pay as you waste, so you can just order a pickup. Where do you see the future of waste management?
Just like you said, the way we grew up, most of this beautiful roundabout used to be dump site. We just walk from our house and go and dump waste, like that. And we've buried so much waste that you probably had to dig ground now that you won't find one form of waste inside of it and all that. But again, as population grows, waste will always increase. The population of Lagos in the 80s is not the population now. In the 90s is not the population now. So it keeps growing. Now, if you speak with some people now, that will tell you Lagos population is at almost 25 million. These 25 million all generate waste, both adults and the babies. So where do this waste go? Statistics have already shown that only 10% of the waste we generate are collected to go to landfill. If 10% of waste we generate goes to landfill, and the entire landfill are also filled up,
and stinking,
where is 90% of our waste? In the water bodies, in drainages, empty lands beside the houses. If you still now look at what is now the tonnage of the waste that we generate, Lagos State is said to have over 6.7 million households. An average household is five people per house, right? If you also look at the World Bank statistics, which says that a person per day will generate 0.75 kg of waste. So if you put that together per household, which means an household will give you 3.75 kg of waste. So which means in a year, Lagos is generating almost 9.6 million metric tons of waste. And only 10% of those wastes are collected. Please, where are the rest going to? The way we attend to waste, the way we tackle waste must change. So we have built Pakam not just for today, but for future. So as the community, as the environment, as the nation is developing, it will develop to that very part that there's just no any other option.
You said it must change. What do you propose?
So, you can also force change. Before now, recycling has always been part of our existence. Our mother will sell their clothing, we'll carry those scraps to all those places and we sell them, we make money from it and all that. But look at the evolution of recycling. Now you can recycle from just at the comfort of your home, convenience. Get money from it, and it's growing. It's a massive business. So we will have thought that before. We may even have where we are even going to be operating zero waste, because when you take away recycling, you'll probably be having food waste from household, and the food waste you'll probably sell those ones too in the nearest future. So a company is now in Epe that is buying food waste, not at scale now, they just started. They need food waste to make maggot, to use that for protein for animal feed. So everything will become kind of
recyclable
and commercialized, and like, you know what, I'm generating this and I'm making money from it. I'm generating this and making money from it. So
wow, interesting. I am so excited to see what technology has for us in the future. The people who, before I ask this question, when you collect the recyclable waste, and you pick it up, what do you do with it?
So there's a value chain in the recycling for now, and that value chain is the people who generate the waste, the people who collect the waste. And the people who collect the waste is also where we fall into. We're using technology to ensure that we connect you that generate the waste to those that needs the waste. As business.
So you're the middleman.
I'm the middleman, yeah. Before now, you may have almost 20 middlemen. So this one gives you waste. This one will have 10 naira to it. You will give to the next person, he has 10 naira. It will go across to the 10th or 15th person. So this person here doesn't make anything out of it. So we caught that. We said, okay, you give us this waste. We'll connect you. And it's just like Uber is saying, you want a ride? I have a ride. Yeah, come together. So it's just the way we marry them and all that. But also within the ecosystem is also a huge gap for huge investment. There are few collectors, extremely few collectors. So if there are few collectors for recyclable waste, which means there's a whole lot of opportunity to there. So because we've seen that opportunity, we form another business called Golden Garbage, which now is an infrastructural arm that now collects the waste. So they're still using our technology also. They collect the waste and then aggregate the waste, pre-process it, employ sorters within community who will sort the waste, remove the cap, remove the label, compress them, especially the PET bottles now, compress them in the baling machine. Then they'll sell those compress and sell the cap, sell this thing. So everything around it, you can make money from it.
If there's someone who is watching you and is thinking about going into clean technology because we are messing up our planet and this is the best way to go, what advice would you give that person?
So within the last 2 months, we've been able to consult for two individuals who have invested almost 250 million into starting up their recyclable waste here in Lagos. So it's just to show that there's huge opportunity there if you want to go into it as a business. It's one of those businesses that I've seen that you can't lose. What you give is what you get. So if you put in 1 naira in recycling, you will get 1 naira, maybe 1 naira 30 kobo. When you put 2 naira, you will get 3 naira from it. What you put, you will get back. If you don't go the shortcut, but if you want to go the straight route, you can't just lose anything there. But of course, there's hard work. You have to do the work.
Don't think about luck.
You have to do the work.
Okay, I read that you did an entrepreneurship in Oxford.
Yes.
And I just a lot of people and gather information. And this person said that he feels those who, go out to study and come back to Nigeria is a waste of time. So I want to ask how your stint at Oxford influenced you in this field you are or any other field.
I didn't leave the shore of Nigeria to go and do the course in Oxford. I actually did it online, and it was also paid for. It was a paid
Entrepreneurship
course by FMDQ and Oxford Re. And Pakam got us that. So there was this innovation stuff, and we won it, and for clean tech, and that got us that this thing. So it was more like an acceleration program and all that. Be as it may, there's absolutely no knowledge that is wasted. So whatever I've learned there was good for me for business, was good for me for exposure, was good for me for that. But personally, I'm not, even though education is good, but I'm not a fan of, I think just have education for you to have common sense. If you cannot obtain common sense, I feel that there's so much knowledge around the street, in your community. There's a lot you can learn. So the first thing every person should be able to do is to read and write. If you can read and write, for me, if I come back in my next word, I don't think school is an option if I can read and write.
How? I mean, you're saying that school is not necessary.
If I can read and write, like I said.
So if you can, you learned how to read and write when you're primary school.
Yes.
So you're saying that you don't need to go to university or secondary school.
Look at it from this very angle. Many of us that left university, is it what you read in school that you're using to eat today? Absolutely no. I know people that read Yoruba that are in bank. So different things, you understand? So it's not what, but again, what will put food on the table for you is your ability to think, your ability to innovate, your ability to, so those things are not what you read. We have 27 staffs in Pakam, and I have never asked for their qualification. No, not one. So we only ask, what can you do? So we will recruit you based on
what you can do,
your ability to think, not what you read. If you have master's, I don't care. If you have PhD, I don't care. If you have it doesn't just move me. You understand? Because I've seen that there are many smart guys who do not have opportunity to go to school. They're on the street and they're doing very well. I mean, very, very well. The only difference is that maybe they don't speak better English than some people that probably go to school and all that. So that I've learned. And there was also a forum I was invited to by United Nations, and they were talking about Life University or University of Street or something like that. I was like, I think it's better for people, for students to learn real life business as a course and not just what the teachers are teaching you in class. So you see a teacher. I did a presentation recently at Climate Finance Accelerator held by the UK government, and one man came and wanted to rubbish what we're doing. But in acceleration, you always taught the British, the American way that when these people say it, keep quiet and accept it that way. So when he was saying it, he was even telling me, oh, don't be angry about it. So when I allowed him to finish and I thanked him, then I gave it back to him in a very nice way that he was not asking himself if he was actually dumb. You understand? So the truth is this, because he was reading papers, you don't know how business is, you don't know how. So if you are not in the business, you can't be advising somebody that knows where the shoe pinches, where it hurts, to say, no, this. So you need to go and do business first and fail and succeed there before you can come and say, okay, let's do it this way or let's not do it this way. I'll give you an example. one of our investors, his name is Demola Leshaw, he used to be the first CTO of MTN. And before we started Golden Garbage, he said, Leia, the experience, what you're facing now is what we face. Now, that is from experience. And I says, what is what we face when we're coming in to invest in MTN in Nigeria? NCC had told us that everything was okay, everything was smooth. Only for us to come in and we found out that all those things were not there. The infrastructure was zero. So they had to go back to go and raise another money to now start to build infrastructure, which makes MTN the market leader till today. Now, he said, I want you to also do the same thing in Pakam. I was hesitant. Then I said, okay, over time, I said, he told me for almost over a year, I didn't do that. And he didn't force me. So then later I said, this man is right. We need to get this thing rolling. And we started Golden Garbage. Now, that is a businessman of international repute who knows where he pinches. But you are in class, you are coming to tell me because you've read one business school. No, I won't take that. So for me, like I said, I think I prefer people with life experiences, people with, concrete experiences than what we just go and read through the back of books and all that in school. Yeah.
I think the future of workforce is changing because people are doing that now. There are some fields where your qualifications no matter. All that matters is that you have the knowledge, the street knowledge, the industry knowledge. Exactly. All right. I think that's all from us today on Back to Base. Thank you very much. You have imparted a lot of knowledge.
Thank you
and
so
I'm
much.
leaving with something today. Trust me. This is Back to Base on Africa Tech Radio. My name is Lilian and we'll be having a conversation with the CEO and the founder of Extrabicon and Pakam Technologies, Adeleye Odebunmi. Thank you very much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.